My Switch almost fell apart while I was holding it with one hand and just carrying it somewhere, and it scared the shit out of me, bro, honestly. And that just would not have happened without the case, which is like kind of defeats the purpose if you ask me. This is the Nintendo Switch 2 Dbrand Killswitch grip case, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a fan of it, guys. There's a couple reasons why. I'm gonna get into it and make this kind of a quick video, but the number one being the most mainstream reason is it kind of takes away one of the best improvements of the Switch 2 from the Switch 1. Now, if you remember the Switch 1, it wasn't the most stable handheld because of the Joy-Con row system, but the Switch 2 kind of fixed that with the magnets. It's pretty solid, no complaints on there. That's only when it doesn't have this case on it. When it does, it's kind of flimsy. Like if you hold it with one hand, then the Joy-Cons start to kind of peel off, and it's because it's closing this gap between the console and the Joy-Con that's not supposed to be closed. So yeah, with this case, it pretty much ruins that for the Nintendo Switch 2. Besides that, I mean, it's a really good case, no doubt about it. The grip is good. I kind of realized I don't like grip cases after this one. Protection is good. I have no doubts about whether my Switch would be safe or not if I dropped this on the floor. It's pretty solid. I mean, come on, like this thing is built like a tank, but because it has the tendency to like kind of rip off when you're holding it with one hand, and I'm not even saying this in like a gimmicky way. This has actually happened to me where my Switch almost fell apart while I was holding it with one hand and just carrying it somewhere, and it scared the shit out of me, bro, honestly. And that just would not have happened without the case, which is like kind of defeats the purpose if you ask me. The second reason that I don't like this case is a bit more niche. It kind of ruins the mouse controls with the Joy-Cons. I'm gonna see if I can show you right here, actually. So with the mouse controls, you can see that this piece right here is it's supposed to be flush, and it has like a millimeter of like extra plastic that pushes up. The reason that this is a problem is because when you attach the piece on here meant for the mouse controls to make this flush, that way your controller doesn't like tilt side to side when you're using the mouse control. It makes it more stable. That piece does not go in all the way, and it kind of just feels weird. It feels like the mouse control is not as responsive as it is without this Joy-Con case on. So that kind of ruins the mouse controls. Another one of the Switch 2's biggest improvements or biggest features over the Switch 1. It just kind of ruins that. So what I find myself doing is taking off the case whenever I use the mouse controls, which is, again, why do I have a case in the first place? Kind of defeats the purpose. Another thing too is, the main reason I got this was because this little grip right here, I thought that it would make the mouse controls more ergonomic. And while it does, like technically, theoretically, yes, it does. It feels better in your hand. What I found is it makes the weight of the Joy-Con unbalanced. So when you're going side to side like this, your hand kind of goes like that when you're using mouse controls. Especially with like fast or micro movements, it's not balanced well enough and it tips over, and you kind of lose control of whatever you're doing, which is super annoying and frustrating and disappointing. That happens because that is literally the main reason I bought this case, was so I could have more ergonomic mouse controls. And to be honest, at this point now, I'd rather just use it with no case on it. The third reason that I don't like this case is it makes your Joy-Con controller adapter pretty much useless. This thing right here, you can't use it when you have the Dbrand case on it. Once again, you have to take off the case in order to use this accessory, just like with the mouse adapters, unless you have a Pro controller, which is another $80, which is something I don't want to have to spend. I'd rather just use this if I wanted a control. Now, the workaround to that is just to use these like detached, like just have them in your lap or something and then just use them detached. And that could work for some people. I find it's a little awkward, especially when it comes to motion controls. I'd rather just have a controller. Playing games like Mario Kart, Zelda, where you have to like aim with the bow and arrow and stuff, it just makes it not that good of an experience. And I actually quite like the Joy-Con grip this year on the Switch 2. And it's a shame that this case kind of prevents me from using that. Other than it just being a good, solid overall case, in terms of protection, it kind of detracts from a lot of the good features that the Switch 2 has. And I've honestly been just rocking my Switch with no case, or kind of tempted to do that, as it does add a lot of weight to the actual Switch as well. So yeah, that's all the reasons that I do not like the Dbrand Switch case, and the one reason I do like it. Let me know how you feel in the comments. If you guys are considering this case, did I change your mind? Are you still going to buy it, or are you going to be looking for alternative cases? Let me know down in the comments. If you found this video helpful in any sort of way or informative, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel for more Switch 2 content, as well as gaming content in general. And I will see you guys on the next one.